back at the scene of the Carus Chemical company. Ain't nobody else been back here in at least a week. I can tell just by looking at the hill. I come in the other direction. Nobody's been down this motherfucker. Nobody. This is their custom air brake. So that's not against EPA regulations or nothing, I don't know. So we get better video of. Not. Show you the depth of that slag shit. Oh yeah, that's gonna hold her back, boys. There's no signs of anybody.
I have included the Attorney General in this email. I believe the Attorney General needs to look into the situations happening here in LaSalle, Illinois. Included are videos and photos. I will provide my phone number to anyone who reaches out to me. First, I would like to include the sample taken from the buildup in the pipe. As you can see that metals are present. This means that anything discharged is leaching metals into our little Vermilion River. Especially mercury and manganese is very high according to Illinois Code 304. I have included some of it in this email. Also, it says no solids, no oil, no foam ECT. As you can see from the videos that this is all happening. Who is monitoring this? Who is sampling the discharge from this sediment pond? Someone other than Carus should be testing to ensure the laws are being followed. To my dismay, I've been informed that instead of a surprise inspection of Carus Chemical concerning the pipe on the permit into the LVR, that you opted for a phone call. This has become the normal routine for said company and it has deep ties to IEPA. I am very concerned with the lack of transparency and supervision. It also has come to my attention that you are pushing this off on DNR. Is this person qualified for what they do at this plant and the testing needed to provide accurate information? Why would IEPA Brad Frost make a phone call and then push this issue off on another agency? The excuse Carus gave Brad is misleading to me. The excuse is far from believable. I guess that's because I have 25 years in the sewer industry. That includes installing, fixing, lining, rehabbing issues such as these. This is an issue and I can get my union involved if you would like expert opinion since I hold no credibility. I have shown the wrongs done and I feel everyone including the city of LaSalle, IEPA less than EPA less than IDPH EMA and so on are not doing their jobs according to the laws put in place. I realize this company is a supplier of the Western Hemisphere, which makes them a monopoly, and is important to the world of water. But do you not see what happened when they blew up? Panic on the chemical supply. It wasn't about us. It was about the supply and doing whatever you had to do to get them up and running. While you avoided every plea the residents made to help us. Instead you supported the company and hid the truth from the people. You all knew the hazards of this product and it was everywhere. The national news has reported it. The fact that Carus controlled every step of the fire is unjust and shameful to what I thought IEPA stood for. The mysterious Apollo, a Tier 2 chemical storage facility, has been turned into a super max since the fire. Carus has gone through many lies and claims about this building. They went as far as having armed security guards on site 24 hours a day, until I finally forced them to shut it down and empty the building for good. I would like to know how they got away with this for so many years behind a EPA Superfund fence and signage that says keep out Superfund cleanup site. They had no name on the building, no placards, no phone number, and were using an abandoned, dilapidated building that someone allowed them to use. Is this how we are allowed to use contaminated land, under the nose of the residents, without any repercussions? Fred Carus, owner Continental Metals, is doing the same thing, allowed to run a business behind an EPA cleanup fence because of the hazards behind it. How is this legal, especially after the EPA cleaned up contaminants on the site on taxpayers' dollars? Carus LLC must be held accountable for their actions involving the improper handling of combustible materials and cardboard. I have attached photos that depict super sacks they consistently transported to lot storage with cardboard mixed in the shipment. This highly combustible combination could have resulted in a fire at any given moment. As previously mentioned, I meticulously monitored and filmed each load transported to lots in Ottawa. The landing sheets received by IEPA do not correspond to every load that was transported. They only provided information for 7 loads, whereas I have visual documentation of 14 loads leaving the site. Furthermore, the products being transported do not align with the information on the landing paperwork. IEPA had to repeatedly request the landing paperwork and associated MSDS, which should have been present on site in accordance with regulations. It seems that enforcement of these laws is being conspicuously disregarded. Where is the supervision? As previously voiced regarding the inspection of the Apollo, which you postponed until the facility was vacant, it appears that evasion of consequences is recurrent. I believe that IEPA is lacking in their supervision of this company. Instead of conducting surprise inspections, they opt for phone calls. In addition, I noticed that Carus continually needs reminders to provide updated permits, paperwork, MSDS, and other documentation. I am also curious about who is conducting the water testing for the discharged water into the river. There seems to be a lack of inspections being performed, not only by my city but also by IEPA, which we, as a community, rely on for our safety within this designated sacrifice zone. I implore you to view the provided video and photographs and reflect on whether this situation can be deemed acceptable by any means. Please consider the proximity of this plant to your home and what measures you would take to ensure the safety of your family. My immense skepticism arises when considering the video shared with Brad Frost, as the footage captured today paints an entirely different picture. Carus's claim of intentionally creating an air gap in the pipe to prevent erosion of the river strikes me as highly implausible, particularly in light of my extensive 25 years of experience. Throughout all my years in the field, I have never encountered a notion as far-fetched as this one. I am forced to question the promptness with which Brad reached out to Carus regarding this complaint. Strangely enough, he conveniently decided to make a phone call addressing the issue, which interestingly coincided with the same phone call he had previously informed me he would be making in relation to the Apollo matter. It is disheartening that my previous complaint about chemicals in the building was blatantly ignored by Brad, resulting in no discernible action apart from a significant delay, allowing Carus ample time to remove the chemicals from the premises and prevent any potential disasters such as the subsequent fire. The occurrence of the plant fire could have been averted if both the IEPA and EPA had been diligent in carrying out their responsibilities. It begs the question, does the EPA possess knowledge of the fact that the city of LaSalle has been derelict in its duty to adhere to the ordinances stated in the discharge permit? It seems that everyone involved is failing to execute their tasks adequately. Further adding to my astonishment, both the city and Carus have ridiculously accused me of breaking into the Apollo building and activating a fire alarm that directly triggered the Carus control panel, rather than contacting the appropriate 911 service. It is imperative to note that this accusation not only lacks any foundation but is also illegal. The mayor went to outrageous lengths by instructing a detective to confiscate my phone, claiming my service provider had successfully traced my location to the building. Adhering to proper procedure, I lodged a Freedom of Information Act request to obtain crucial information. However, the state's attorney decided to seal the warrant and withhold any details. 2 months have passed, yet the city has failed to return my personal property. Hoping for some resolution, I reached out to the state's attorney's office, only to be met with misleading and conflicting narratives. It is clear that they are attempting to silence me due to my vociferous efforts in holding the perpetrators accountable for their actions. My sole intention is to ensure that individuals are held responsible for their wrongdoings. The fact that the EPA bestowed Carus with a monopoly cannot excuse the disregard displayed by the relevant oversight agencies. Why did they resort to using cardboard? And why was no one monitoring their activities? Where are the safety plans and evacuation strategies that should be in place? How can they continue to violate these laws with impunity? Despite diligently requesting this information from numerous agencies, not a single one has been able to provide me with the necessary documentation or even demonstrate its existence in their records. The extent of deception perpetrated upon the residents of LaSalle and the subsequent defense of a hazardous corporation is truly astounding and deeply concerning. 1.6 million gallons of water per day in the LVR, not to mention the additional waste that is discharged into the city sewer system. Is it truly logical or sensible to squander such an enormous volume of water in the pursuit of products purportedly designed to cleanse our water? Additionally, I find it puzzling that I was unable to procure any information regarding how the EPA granted approval for this product's use in water purification back in 1985. In an astonishing revelation, it has come to light that the EPA, responsible for granting approval for chemical use on a global scale, does not possess any information regarding the study of potassium permanganate or sodium permanganate. This glaring knowledge gap raises concerns about how the Illinois EPA intends to tackle this issue and ensure that Carus' dissemination of information is both accurate and comprehensive. Brad Frost claims to have watched a video of the discharge pipe and deemed it unworthy of attention. Such puzzling circumstances leave me questioning the actions, or lack thereof, taken by these agencies, and I earnestly seek a thorough explanation. The testing needed to provide accurate information? Why would IEPA Brad Frost make a phone call and then push this issue off on another agency? The excuse Carus gave Brad is misleading to me. The excuse is far from believable. Such puzzling circumstances leave me questioning the actions, or lack thereof, taken by these agencies, and I earnestly seek a thorough explanation.